This is Kütahya. According to ancient sources, it was the birthplace of Aesopus. Hittites lived in this area. Later, the Phrygians, Kimers, Lydians, Persians, Romans, Seljukians of Anatolia, the German Normandy, and then the Ottoman Empire also lived in this area. It is the city where the sons of the Ottomans were raised. Kütahya took a place in history as the governor of the Anatolian provinces, also known as Pasha Sanjel. After the First World War, on the 17th of June 1921, Kütahya had been occupied by the Greek forces. On the 30th of August 1922, Kütahya became the city which laid the foundation of the Turkish Republic. Kütahya was the place where the great leader Mustafa Kemal Atatürk ordered, "Armies, your first target is the Mediterranean." The first hosts of Kütahya were the Phrygians in the first ancient age. Phrygians plateaus are covered with the tufts of the Turkmen mountain, which is an old volcano. The Phrygians landed in the region known today as the Phrygians Valleys. Ovacık İnlice, Ahmetoğlu Farm, Sabuncu Pınar, Fındık, Doğuluşa, Inli, accommodation in Sökmen and Salt villages are the caves which were carved for the purpose of praying and as a refuge. Rooms of tombs. Small churches reach today. Phrygian valleys, natural rocks. Cotton castles, surface waters. It meets us with green forests. Persians, Romans and Byzantines moved to this region after the Phrygians. This is the antique city named Aizonay, where 100,000 people lived during the antique period. Çavdarhisar is 57 kilometers from Kütahya. Çavdarhisar, with a history of 5,000 years, is one of the most important and ancient residential places. In Aizonay, an antique city known as Second Ephesus, the Temple of Zeus, is the best protected temple in the world. Amphitheatre for 14,000 people. A stadium next to it. 2 baths. Street with columns. Necropola. Antique bridges which are still used. The first trade buildings in the world discovered in the Anatolian region. Aizonay Antique City became rich with the incomes of vegetable produce, wine and wool during the Roman Empire. The greatest period was in the 2nd and 3rd centuries. The Roman dictator Diocletianus produced a decree to fix the salaries and to define the prices to protect the consumers from being cheated and from inflation and unjust profits. 301 AD. This decree was a protection that Diocletianus presented to his people to control the inflation and to protect the consumers' rights. The rules defined in the decree were the last. The punishment was capital punishment. The people who were trading joined wars, got married, and the people who wanted to know their futures came to the Temple of Zeus to give gifts and to find out the answers to their questions. The temples were at the same time banks that they believed to be the most safest places. Aizonay city is our cultural inheritance. This is a museum of archaeology where the goods left by the people who lived in this area are shown. It was built as a theological school by Germian Bey Umur bin Savcı in 1314. It is at the Varcidiye Theological School that astronomy lessons were given during the Selçukluan period. A crown gate which shows specialities of Selçuklu arts. Many remains from the Paleolithic age until the Ottoman Empire times for visitors in the museum. Amazon's tomb belongs to the Roman Empire, which tells of the fights between the Greeks and the Amazones. It is as if the remains in the museum have come together to tell each other what they experienced. They continue to live out of time to show their place in history. The second Yakup Çelebi kitchen is the remain of the German oğulları dated in 1411. The building includes the kitchen, the theological school, the mosque, the library and the bath. Today, the building has been restored as a museum of porcelain with a tomb covered with originally decorated, painted tiles. The stone with the biggest inscription written in Turkish after Second Yakup's Göktürk inscriptions must show how it resisted against time. The first Mevlevi house of Kütahya, Dönenler Mosque. Hezar Dinari, who built a mosque, which began in 1237 and was completed within 6 years. One of the original examples of Turkish architecture in the earlier periods. Herdölük Mosque is also known as a Selçukluan remain, which was established in Herdölük Hill by Hezar Dinari in 1243. Kütahya Castle. The castle established ancient times was made stronger with the wall by the Byzantines and with the maintenance of the Selçukluan, Germanoğlu and the Ottomans in the 5th century. Heymey Mother. Mother of Ertuğrul Gazi, Heymey Mother, grandmother of Osman Bey, who is establisher of the Ottoman state, also known as State Mother. She died during the emigration season. She was buried in Çarşamba village of Dominak, where her tomb is today. Cradle Pine. This tree was burnt during the period and is now protected by a cover. It is believed that Ertuğrul Gazi's mother cradled Osman Bey, making a swing on this tree. The trees, the silent witnesses of the living time. The roots fasten the trees to the ground. If the ground is rantable, the tree sets the roots free. If they aren't cut and are cared for, they yield for those that love them, just like chestnut trees. This is Kumari village in Kütahya City. These trees are 1,000 years old, which are known as monument trees and which are under protection. Nobody knows the things that they know. This is the Ulu Mosque, built by the Ottomans, found in this area of Börekçiler. Its foundations began in the year 1381 while Yildirim Beyazıt, son of the Sultan, was governor of Kütahya. It was completed by the son of Sultan Musa Çelebi 30 years later. The mosque maintained by Mimar Sinan during the Kanuni period was rebuilt a second time during the Abdülhamit in 1893. Hakim Sinan, known as the poet Sayhi in the Germain Palace during the period of Yakup II. the poet of Kütahya, who became popular with examples of satire and divan literature, lies here. Popular voyager Evliya Çelebi in 1678 announced to Kütahya that his grandfather's tomb is in the Zeryan ward. The tomb of Sunallah Gaybi, his tomb in the corner of Musalla Cemetery, was last repaired in the year of 2001. Pasham Sultan, also known as the tomb of Sayyid Nureddin. Ana Sultan tomb in the forest 25 kilometers between Kütahya and Afyon. The square-panned building with open garden was repaired in 1980. Kossuth Museum, also known as Hungarian House, 19th century Turkish house in the area of Börekçiler. Lajos Kossuth and his family, one of the leaders of the Hungarian independence action, took refuge during the Ottoman Empire in 1849 in Kütahya. This house, in which Kossuth resided, opened as a museum in 1982. Yeşil Mosque. It was built by the governor of Kütahya, Fuat Pasha, in 1905. It became a focus of interest in Kütahya, with the Gallery of the Minaret with a type of pavilion. This mosque is one of the rare buildings in Anatolia that is square-planned with one dome. This building was used as a justice hall by the governor of Kütahya, Ahmet Fuat Pasha, in 1907. It has an entrance serrated towards the front with 5 bigger arches on the 6 columns. Mosque decorated with painted tiles. It was built by painter Ahmet Yakupoğlu. It reflects Middle Asian Turkish architecture with form, type and a kind of decoration.